This past summer of 2024, I set out on a mission to travel across the entire United States, going from California to Florida, in hopes to work with one of these 6 brands. This trip took me to some of the most unexpected places and allowed me to connect with some incredible people. But the real question, did I even achieve my goal? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer that question, along with 5 things that personally helped me level up in my personal life as well as my business. Well, let's answer this question first. Did I achieve my goal of working with one of these brands? Honestly, to my surprise, yeah, I did. I had the privilege of shooting with one of BRP's companies, Can-Am On-Road, this summer at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. And I say to my surprise because I didn't even have this lined up before I got on the road. Before I left for my trip, I sent out a bunch of proposals and unfortunately, no bites. But I did hear back from 3 of the companies, and they had said that it's just not right for them right now, and BRP was one of those companies. But this is where it gets cool though, because the person I had reached out to, he later asked the place that I was gonna be, and I said Sturgis Motorcycle Rally was gonna be one of my locations. And so he said, okay, well, I'm gonna put somebody from our team in touch with you. And that's when Can-Am On-Road reached out, and I just couldn't believe it. Dang, even like saying that out loud, like, that is crazy to think how God works. It was honestly just like planting that one seed and then watching it grow. Okay, so I share that story because it actually leads me into my first point. That is to continuously pitch your ideas. The name of the game is honestly just to get known and to become discovered, and that's just gonna grow your network. One of my favorite quotes, I don't even know who it's from, is your net worth is your network. But along with reaching out, it's also important to have a really solid body of work. But there are a lot of people that have a great portfolio, but they don't have the networking skills to just put themselves out there and reach out. And sometimes they just think that clients are gonna come knocking on their door like I used to think. And personally, the biggest thing that held me back from even reaching out in the first place was because I was so uncomfortable with the word no. And I'm still working through that process of dealing with rejection, but instead of looking at it as though, no, you failed, you suck, it's more like, it's just gonna be a no for us right now. And you know what that's done for my business is giving me the ability to take the reins over to say, okay, you know what? I need to get better, I need to progress, and I need to level up. Not just in my body of work, but also in my pitching game. Because the most important thing to a client isn't how the images look, it's how it's going to affect their bottom line. And it's up to you to pitch that value and communicate the concept in a way that they're going to understand, okay, this is going to be valuable to our business. You need to make their business goals your mission. Don't get discouraged when I'm saying this though, because it took me a long time to even figure this out myself. And honestly, I'm still trying to work through this process of, okay, is this valuable enough? How can I make it more valuable? There's a lot of iterations that go into that. So just keep iterating, keep creating, and working on your pitches. The second major thing that I learned on this trip was that things aren't always gonna go according to plan, and you've got to be okay with that. This really helped me in my personal life as I was going through this journey, because there were so many times on this trip where I just felt like I had no control. And it's true, I didn't have any control over the circumstances, but what I could control is how I reacted to that. When things don't always go the way that you think or how you planned, it really puts you into a mindset of, okay, I need to problem solve and I need to get creative. Frustration does not solve anything. Like, I'll give you a very basic example. When I was in California and I was driving, I was trying to merge onto the freeways and nobody would let you in. People in California are insane drivers. And when I'm towing my 16-foot cargo trailer, they're like, I ain't leaving that much space. Because I couldn't even merge onto the highway, I had to take the next off-route. Instead of getting all mad and flustered about it, I was like, wow, that was crazy. Okay, well, I'm just gonna punch into my GPS how I can get back onto this thing, and we're just gonna try again. But that kind of takes me into how it affected my business as well. There's been many times where I've been in a photo shoot or a video shoot and things just aren't really flowing, I guess you could say. Like, sometimes I'm not happy with the environment or the subject, or maybe just my creative vision isn't flowing the way it usually does. Instead of getting frustrated, I just kind of take a second, take a breath, and just kind of look around. I'll just say, just give me a minute. I need to figure out exactly where I want to take the direction of the shoot. And when you learn to control your emotions and how you react outwardly, it really affects the people around you, because when you look calm, cool, collected, the people around you also feel that same energy. And so when you do figure out a new solution to where you want to shoot or how you can make the shoot better, now they're still on board. They're not feeling tense inside. They're not feeling like you're going to snap any moment, and it's going to keep them relaxed and it's going to keep the morale high. I've been on sets and photo shoots where things just seem super rammy and everybody's just getting really worked up, really flustered, and it's really over nothing. Most times it's just a lack of communication, and it's like, okay, if I just talk to you, then we would be on the same page. Like, it's usually very minor things, but they just get blown up in our minds. So if you're feeling that way in life or business, just take a second and breathe, let your mind calm down, and then look at the situation and how you're gonna move forward. The third point is to take care of yourself. If your mind and your body aren't healthy, you're not gonna perform at your best. On this trip, I was working so hard because I really wanted this to succeed. So what life looked like was just driving, eating, planning, editing, and it honestly just felt like I had no time to even just think. But that was my perception though, that wasn't reality. Just because you feel like you have no time doesn't mean that you actually have no time. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but it is true. There is places that you're wasting time, and there's time that you could get back where you could just let your brain calm down, where you can actually just think and creatively plan. Because if you neglect the time to allow your mind just to think and process, what that's going to result in is burnout. And that's honestly where I landed at the last half of my trip. And I was just so worked up. I was thinking that I had failed. I was thinking that I was going to fail. I thought maybe I should just head home right now. Like, there's so many thoughts of doubt that was going through my mind. It's because I didn't even look back at the past successes of what I had just achieved in the first half of my trip. And I was thinking, shoot, I don't have anything lined up. I don't have anything planned for the next half of my trip. And it just felt like a weight on my shoulders. And it was all because I obviously wasn't praying. I wasn't reading my Bible. I wasn't allowing my mind to process and think through these things logically. It was kind of like that default brain of doubt, insecurity, and just worried about failure. And trust me, I totally believe in working hard and maximizing efficiencies, but maximizing isn't always doing busy tasks. Creative thinking doesn't come from overloading the brain with more information. It comes from giving yourself time to think and time to process. Your brain's exceptionally smart. It's gonna make those connections based off of what it knows already. And if you are putting in the work up front to take in more information and to learn to better your craft, obviously that's going to help you, but your brain needs time to process all that information. Now, as for creating a healthy body, I love to work out, but my fuel sources weren't the best. I was honestly eating pretty bad. I resorted back to the things that I felt were comfort food for me. I have a lot of food allergies, so I would kind of resort to those junk foods where it was like chips and candy and energy drinks. You know, I would feed off of a lot more than what I should have. And obviously that resulted in poor mental clarity. All this being said, take care of your assets, your health, your creative mind, and your spiritual life. The fourth thing that I learned is you need more inputs. Before even going on this trip, I determined that I was gonna post a daily vlog on my Instagram every single day. You know what happened? On day 62 of posting daily, that video popped off and blew up, and now that video is almost sitting at 500,000 views. That one video alone completely changed my Instagram. I got thousands and thousands of followers just from that one video. Now you'd say, what was different about that post than your other posts? And that post was actually more of an educational video where I was teaching and showing people how to do something based off of what I've already created. And some of you might say, well, then posting all those other daily vlogs was a complete waste of your time. But I actually think that that was super valuable for where I was at the time, because first, it built consistency, it built my community, and it did provide slow growth. It showed that I was out there, I was hustling, and after posting 61 days of that, it showed me that that style of content wasn't right for me. But I realized that I'm really good at creating is educational content. But the benefit of creating this daily vlog is it actually gave me more footage to overlay on top of my educational content. I definitely do think that I could have changed up the style of content a little bit sooner. So the formula that I would say works the best is inputs plus innovation equals results. And that honestly applies to any part of our life. I love this quote from Wayne Gretzky where he says, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So keep putting in the work, keep innovating. The last point, number 5, is document, document, document. I kind of mentioned this in the last point, but documentation is huge. Showing people a look into behind the scenes of your life, your business can be great for making content, as well as it's great for showing prospects how you work in real life. Honestly, who doesn't like looking back at different parts of their life and just remembering those memories? The two tools that completely changed the game for me was my Insta360 X4 and my iPhone 15 Pro Max. The 360 cam was awesome for attaching to my camera because I could just set it there, turn it on, and it would be capturing everything that's around me. I didn't have to worry about flipping the camera or making sure that it was positioned a certain way. Literally, all I needed to do was make sure that it was turned on. And the iPhone was such a valuable tool this summer because it was all in my pocket, it was super lightweight, it recorded really high quality footage, and as well, I could just send that off to my laptop just by airdropping. I'm not even kidding, I think I filmed twice on my Canon all summer. And I do realize that some people want that shallow depth of field and they want a more professional look. And yes, if you do want that, then sure, go for like a small little camera. But for me, it was more about convenience because I knew that if I had to shoot everything on the Canon, I just wasn't gonna do it. I'm still kind of working into that vlog style where I'll go in public and film stuff, and I still feel a little bit of that weird awkwardness. But it's great with the iPhone because you can literally walk into any store, nobody knows that you're filming. You can just click it off, put it in your pocket, you're good to go. I really believe that there is no excuse anymore for not documenting anything in your life. Creating content literally has become so easy nowadays. Now, if you want to see some of the content that I filmed this summer, I think this is a great place for you to start. All right, I'll catch you over there. Peace.